Mind your money! And here is your financial expert and master mindset coach, Janae Cordy.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Today, in light of it being everyone's favorite time of year, and as a shout out to everyone's favorite uncle, what up, Uncle Sam? I thought we'd holla for the tax dollar today. So, what I'm talking about is tax deferred savings options available to you. I know lots of people have to shovel up the cash envelopes to good old Uncle Sam right now, so thought it would be a perfect time to talk about different ways you can also benefit from the tax code. So let's holla for that tax dollar now, everybody. Can I get a hell yeah? Okay, so first of all, disclaimers. This is not tax advice, legal advice, or investment advice. Please seek the advice of your tax professional, CPA, attorney, legal counsel, professional licensed investment broker for advice and consultation on what to do for your specific situation. I am not a qualified or licensed professional in this area to give you specific advice. I'm just providing general information as I see it. Please then take that information and consult with who you feel the need to consult with for advice on your situation. Okay? All right. Now that we got the legal sharks out of the water, here's the second disclaimer. We are all obligated and responsible to pay into the tax system of this great country of the United States of America. I've got no problem with paying my part to make sure we keep this beautiful land beautiful and running. If we are all going to live on this land together and utilize the resources paid out through the tax system, we all need to give into that system as well. Obviously, not everyone can or is going to be able to give the same, and that's okay. Some people are going to need more from the system than others at certain times of their lives, and that's also okay. But let's shift our mentality from pitting the wealthy against the less wealthy, from dividing those who have more against those who have less. We are all one nation occupying the most amazing country to ever exist in the history of the world. The beacon of light, the stripes and stars, baby. We are all truly blessed to be American, to be born or to be otherwise citizens of this country, to be free. We are blessed to live on this awe-inspiring land. We are blessed to have our brave and courageous armed forces out there fighting to protect us too. So don't ever forget that either. Mad respect out there for the people who are skillfully using their muscle and their brain power to protect us every day, day in and day out. We've all got real enemies out there, and each other is not them. And don't ever forget where all these tax dollars you are paying are going. They're going to support our great nation. They're going to support your hungry and sick neighbors. They're going to support your soldiers in the dark, cold trenches right now, protecting your freedom. Your veterans who fought bravely for our land. Your elderly who have worked their bones to the ground and finally get to rest those bones in retirement. That's where those tax dollars are going. And don't hate on the wealthy either. The wealthy pay a huge percentage into the tax system to make it all happen for us in this country. The politicians and the media, they like to divide and conquer. But remember, we are the freaking United States of America. And united we stand, divided we fall. And that goes for division based on anything. So let's start changing our mindset back to peace and unity as Americans and put all the other nonsense aside. I'll be the first to say I have love for every American out there, regardless of how they vote, regardless of their religious preference, regardless of their race, their ethnicity, their gender, their sexuality, their socioeconomic status. I don't really care. I've got love for you. You are my neighbor in freedom. And don't get me wrong, I'm still opinionated as all heck, and I can be a little sassy now and then, believe me. And people who know me know that. And no, we do not need any witnesses to come forward on that. You better just all shush your mouth. But I'm also totally fine with listening to the other side of the table with an open mind, sometimes changing my own mind, and other times agreeing to disagree. If you think about it, we are all a bunch of opinionated, independent, spirited Americans with different perspectives and sassiness to boot. That is who we are. But diversification of opinion and perspective is absolutely a great strength of this country. Here's the thing though, we all still need to strive to hold the intention to respect each other's opinions and beliefs, even when we don't agree. That is the true American way. So my hope is that we can get back to that respect for each other as a country. It really is. Okay, enough of my soapbox. Now let's talk about ways that we can save some tax dollars. Hey, we are still living in a capitalist nation, right? Which means you are rooted in capitalism and opportunity. So embrace your roots and take your opportunities when you've got them. It's all a balancing act. Give and take, yin and yang. So, what is tax deferment? According to the wonderful Wikipedia definition, which I thought was a pretty solid explanation, tax deferral refers to instances where a taxpayer can delay paying taxes to some future period. In addition, investinganswers.com had this to say. In the investment world, tax deferred refers to investments on which applicable taxes, typically income taxes and capital gains taxes, are paid at a future date instead of in the period in which they are incurred. So taxes can sometimes be deferred indefinitely or maybe taxed at a different rate in the future, depending on what type of account or tax benefit you are dealing with. Okay, so we have different ways you can tax defer. You can tax defer now on your contributions by having an amount come out pre-tax into an investment account with the hopes that by the time you draw out of that account down the road, you will be in a lower tax bracket. So with these types of accounts, you are basically making the choice to take more money in your pocket now, tax-free, with the understanding that down the road you will pay those taxes at whatever tax rate you are subject to at that time. You may be hedging your bets here that you can do more with your own money now than later, that you don't know what will happen in the future and would rather put your money to use now, or maybe that you will be subject to a lower tax bracket by the time you pull the money out, or that you will be willing to take the bigger hit in the future at a higher tax bracket because you feel you will maybe be more financially well off by the time you will actually have to withdraw the funds. And then you can better absorb those costs. Common examples of these types of accounts are the traditional 401k account, traditional IRAs, which stands for Individual Retirement Account, or other tax-deferred annuities available through your licensed professional investment broker who you will consult for advice, remember? There are tons of regulations for withdrawals, including penalties, so definitely talk to a licensed broker. The next type of tax deferment I'm going to talk about is when you go ahead and pay the taxes now on the contributions post-tax into the investment accounts with the expectation of tax-free distributions down the road. Basically, this is the I'm just going to bite the bullet now mentality and pay up now so I don't have to pay up later under the rules of an unknown tax code. Remember, the future tax rate can be higher, it can be the same, or it can be lower. The tax code or rules can also change. It's unknown, and some people are not willing to take this risk of subjecting their money to an unknown future tax code and rate. They prefer to pay now under the known conditions. Some people may also just prefer to get this obligation out of the way while they have the funds and are able to do so that they can hopefully reap the benefit in the future by taking a much larger withdrawal without the looming tax obligation attached to their money at that time. So common examples of this type of account are the Roth 401k and the Roth IRA. And then some people diversify and do both types of these accounts. So they may have both, let's say, a traditional IRA and then maybe a Roth 401k. Again, speak to your licensed investment broker about what is best for you. This is a highly regulated industry with lots of rules on these accounts, so you want to be well informed about the rules of your investments. Remember, knowledge is power. Most investment brokers will meet up with you for a free consultation and maybe even buy you a cup of coffee. They oftentimes also work through local banks and credit unions, so ask who you already do business with if they have a person. Most likely they do, or they can at least get you to a good reference of someone that they trust. Some other tax benefit accounts to check out and talk to your broker or your employer about are flexible spending accounts, or FSAs. This money can come out of your paycheck tax-free and can be used for qualifying medical and daycare expenses at a certain cap on what is typically an annual basis. This is usually a use it or lose it type account, which means you will want to accurately project your expenses for the year in these categories, because if you don't end up incurring the expenses, but you put the money in this type of account, then see ya money, it's gone. But don't worry, it's not usually that hard to project what you are going to pay in a year for medical or daycare expenses. You usually have a pretty good idea, right? Plus, these accounts have a cap of what you can contribute. I personally go on the conservative side of a projection when dealing with use or lose it type of accounts. But that is not advice in any way or in any shape or form, just my own personal preference. Zhish, sharks are circling now. Okay, the last type of account you may want to look into are tax benefit options for education accounts to save for your kids' college or private education. I know in Missouri we have the most 529 college savings plan available. There's also the Coverdale Education Savings account out there as well. So check into your options if you have that need. These accounts can be quite beneficial to those who will need to put their little chickens through school like me. You can also work with a broker on these types of accounts as well. So right now, remember to start getting your tax information ready so you don't miss the filing deadline, or at least make sure to file an extension if you need one. Use this time of year to not only get your taxes in order, but also plan for your future and start taking advantage of these savings available to you through the system. Time goes quick. Don't put off saving for retirement or saving for your kids' schooling. When it comes to investments, time can literally be money if you know anything about compound interest. So make the appointment. Sit down with somebody and start taking care of your business and your future. And if you already have this stuff set up, great job. I mean, you are definitely one step ahead of the game, but also don't become complacent. Ask yourself, when is the last time you evaluated your contribution amounts or your accounts? Are you on track for your target goals still? Do a review and just make sure. You don't want to get too far down the road and then realize you're not. No one wants that. Everyone, just use tax time every year as a reminder to make the focused effort now to plan for your future or assess your progress, so you don't end up regretting it when that time inevitably comes. Sound like a plan? All right. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. That is a quote from the brilliant investor Warren Buffett. Let's go ahead and heed that advice from the self-made billion with a B heir, okay? That's what I'm saying. Please subscribe, rate, and review. As always, I do appreciate each and every one of you and your support. You can also find my blog on mindyourmoneycoach.com, as well as my personal coaching services there as well. Until next time, everyone.
Mind your money.